Hey, what is up guys? So I know that it's been quite a while since I've actually done one of these videos. I've had a bunch of stuff going on yeah, let's not just go down that rabbit hole. Let's just go straight into the deck itself. So I've rebuilt heroes. I tried out the evil hero stuff. Yes, Billy, I still don't own a Neo slot. I have no intention of buying a Neo slot because I think the variant that I built is still better than yours. I will die on that hill. The deck's fun, still fun. Unfortunately, because Malice and other things are still running around in my locals, Dark Claw isn't as good as it used to be, but against a lot of other decks, Crystron dies to Dark Claw, Tia dies to Dark Claw, Live Twin dies to Dark Claw, everything still dies to a Dark Claw. But enough of me going into what dies to Dark Claw. I'm just going to get into the deck itself and hopefully persuade more people to become hero players over time. So we still play the 3 Pharos and the 1 increase. So Pharos' effect is I discard a hero to summon it, and then I get to put a vision hero in the spell and trap card zone. Increase tributes itself to summon itself as a monster, and if summoned that way, it summons a vision hero from deck. We only play the 1 increase because I still think that you only need the 1 to actually resolve the full effect, because it can put itself from the grave back into the spell and trap zone when you take damage, and if you draw it, it's just a dead card. This deck already has enough bricks as it is, so adding more increase just kind of makes the deck worse. And you can actually do the full combo even if you don't draw any of these, because a hero lives gets you into the Stratos, which gets you into the Vion, which Vion is basically the card that you always want to get into. These are just an additional way to get into the Vion itself. Then we play the 2 Vion. This is Foolish Burial and also Searcher's Poly. The effect of Search Poly is a soft once per turn, so if your opponent imperms, Veilers, or whatever they want to this card, you summon the other Vion. That's why we play 2. And then search the Poly anyways. The amount of times people have fallen into that, it's glorious, because it's just a wasted hand trap, and unfortunately, a lot of people still don't know how heroes work, so playing into the fact that they don't know what does what and how it gets to the certain end boards, especially with the new evil hero stuff, that's actually how you can end up winning a lot of games from that. But that's all the vision heroes. For the Destiny heroes, it's the Stabber 3 Malicious summons Malicious. 1 Denier, it summons itself back from the grave and puts a Destiny hero to the top of the deck, so you can use this with DP as well, because if you draw Fusion Destiny later on in the game and you don't have access to DP because your opponent's already got rid of it in the grave, you can just use Denier to put it back and then summon DP again. 1 Plasma, Skill Drain on Legs. This card is amazing still. The amount of times where I've just absorbed something and then sat with this and then a DP next to it lowering monsters' attacks, your opponents find it very difficult to out this, so Plasma is still good. There are times where I do side it out because it's not needed all games, but you still kind of need it, because later on in the game, when you kind of ran through your Maliciouses and you want to make the DP again by Denier putting it back, you need the Plasma in deck as a material. Then onto the evil heroes, we play 1 Adusted Gold, 1 Dead in Prison, 1 Sinister Necron, and 1 Infernal Rider. We only need 1 of each of these because multiples don't really achieve as much. Like, I have seen builds that play 3 Adusted Gold, but they're more weirder hero lists where they use the fact that Adusted Gold is a light fiend to go into Fiendsmith lines. But the 1 of each is fine because Sinister Necron is only ever going to summon these 2, and Adusted Gold grabs you into the Dark Fusion or the Dark Contact, but you have ways to search the Adusted Gold throughout the whole thing. For those of you that aren't aware, Evil Hero Adusted Gold, you can discard it to add 1 Dark Fusion or 1 card that mentions Dark Fusion, so in the deck there is Dark Fusion and Dark Contact. The Dead in Prison's effect is similar to Vion's, as it foolishes a hero on summon. And then if you're going to fusion summon a hero monster that requires a specific material, such as Elemental Hero of Neos for your Neos fusion monsters, this card can be treated as it. Sinister Necron just summons an evil hero from deck, and Infernal Rider adds Dark Fusion, but its second effect is actually quite good. You manage this with 4 other heroes to set Super Poly. Now, I play Super Poly targets that aren't just hero Super Poly targets because I can do full combo that ends on DP plus plasma, and then this just allows me to have more setup during my opponent's turn, because heroes still loses to Nibiru, while this card says, right, okay, we lost to Nib, but we still have the Favourite Contact and Super Poly set, which is enough to beat a lot of decks as it is. Then for the standard leftover heroes, we play one Stratos. I don't need more than one Stratos. This deck dies to roll on a regular basis, so I don't actually usually want to start the combo with this. This is just there as it helps. On certain circumstances, I've used this effect to pop Vakra, but it's more of a hero lives sort of starter. But even then, I kind of an R at it, because I want to resolve Vion Search effect for Poly before any other things do searches, because if you don't have a way into a fusion, you kind of just die in the deck. One Shadow Mist, this card's good. Searches Mass Change, that's all it does as far as I'm concerned. One Liquid Soldier, this is usually to revive this, so that gets Search the Change card. If not, it revives any other hero, and then if it uses Fusion Material, it draws 2, discards 1, which sometimes comes up. It's mainly used for chain blocking, and then the final Neos. You need this as the target for the. You need it for your Shining Neos. Then into the spells itself, we play 3 Fusion Destiny. You want to open this card. This card's amazing. It summons DP. That's all you need to know about it. 3 Hero Lives because it's a starter. Fair enough. I did state earlier that Stratos being summoned kind of does hurt, but there are times where I just go Hero Lives into Shadow Mist, and then Shadow Mist adds me the change card, and then Macrocosmos on Lex is just good from there. Then I also play 3 Evil Assault. This allows me to play less evil heroes in the deck. So what it does is it discards a card to a level 4 or lower evil hero from deck to hand, and then, except the turn it's sent to the grave, I can banish it to add Dark Fusion to hand. Now, this is how I grab my Dusted Goals or Dead in Prisons, so that I can actually have a free extension from there. The only caveat with it that doesn't allow me to play the other hero variants is it locks me into heroes. Now, that's not bad for heroes at all, but in some versions that I've seen where they play the Fiendsmith line, you can't play the Fiendsmith line with this because it's dead cards. Then we play 1 Dark Contact and 1 Dark Fusion. We don't need more than this. Dark Fusion is just the standard way to get to your evil hero stuff. And Dark Contact's actually good because it's Miracle Fusion for, well, not Miracle Fusion, Parallel World Fusion, if anyone remembers that card, for evil heroes. So you shuffle the materials from field, grave, or banish back into the deck. It comes up because, so Bane's materials actually let you put Malicious back, so then you have Malicious for later on in the game. Then we just play the 1 standard Poly. We don't need more. Vion searches it. 1 Mass Change. I did contemplate playing this at 2. I probably would side a second if I got around to ever building a side deck for this, but for now, 1's fine because the Shadow Mist just searches it. And then to round off everything else, we play the 1 Miracle Fusion. I'm just going to leave this right here because Miracle Fusion is amazing because Wake Up Your Elemental Hero wins you games. The amount of times where I have just topped this card or had it set from Wonder Driver and it's passed back to me, I've activated this, banished 13 cards to summon Wake Up, and my opponent scoops as soon as they read its effect. Respect the Wake Up, it wins you games. And then for my board breakers, I play 3 Ruler. I'm not bothered if I don't OTK my opponent because I could just crack their board and then set up all the stuff that I need and win from there. 3 Super Poly, it does kind of clash with the deck a little bit because if I Super Poly into the Garura or Mud Dragon, it means I can't use the Evil Assault, and it means that I also can't use Cross Crusaders effect because they require me to be locked into heroes that turn, but Board Breaker is good board breaker, and if I can't have access to those, it's fine because I just win off Bane usually. And then 1 Favourite Contact. This card's amazing. It was the reason why originally I played 2 Wake Up, because sometimes in Grand Game you want to basically put all the good heroes back into your deck, but this mainly is used to summon the Shining Neos during your opponent's turn and then pop loads and loads of cards. It does come up that this makes it so the hero can't be returned to the extra deck. So if your opponent doesn't read it properly, there have been times where I have summoned Nightmare Unicorn, and yeah, it's just ended badly for my opponent because they've tried to shuffle it back and it failed. And then for the extra deck, it's okay-ish. There's still probably some things that I could amend in it. Billy, you can tell me as many times to play Leo Sword, I'm still not playing it because there are better cards. So we play 2 Cross Crusader. I don't always summon this. Most of the time when I summon the second one, it's to revive DP because people forget that. But its effect to search usually never resolves because when testing against Jamie, that man seems to draw a draw every single game. So its effect to tribute a hero to search doesn't ever come up. Wonder Driver, this card's pretty good. It sets the fusion spells, so it allows me to do Miracle Fusion more than once in one turn. It's pretty good. Infernal Divisor, I've tempted to cut this, to be honest, because there are so many ways to grab Neos, sending it from deck to grave or searching it with other cards, so it's okay for the combo, but it isn't required if you know how to do the hero combo anyways. That's all the links. We don't play SP or anything like that because they're terrible cards. For our boss monsters, we play the Shining Neos. This card's amazing. I read this wrong. I thought it only counted the attributes on my field. No, it counts the attributes on all the field. Quite often when I summon this, I've just kind of won because it's a 6k beat stick that burns for the attack of the monster that it runs over. So if you summon this with any hero that reduces attack stats, you've probably won. Wake Up. You banish loads of cards and then you auto win. There are some combos where you can use Wake Up, pop it with DP, and then the Shadow Mist from deck and some Dark Claw with it, but it doesn't really come up that much anymore. One Malicious Bane. This card is cracked. I have won so many games with this. When I was testing with Marcus, he played Fire King. Fire King cannot out this card unless he has Imperm or something that negates its effect. Beyond that, he had no out to it and was just popping his field every turn. So Bane's effect is it blows up every monster whose attack stats are lower than its own on my opponent's field, and then it gains 200 for each, and then locks me into only heroes can attack that turn, which is fine, because I'm more than happy to Regeki my opponent if only my heroes can attack. Then we play the Infernal Rage. This searches the favourite contact. That's all it does. Its second effect can come up, but it's not really required because I don't play the Dolphin anymore. So, yeah. One Sunrise. This is to search the Miracle Fusion, and it also has a nice little effect that comes up now and then. We play one Dystopia. I probably should move this card to the side deck because we only really play it for time. We don't really use it for anything else. One DPE. If I was to get rid of the Dystopia, I would probably play second DPE because good card is good card. One Darkest Night. The materials for this is kind of awkward because it requires a Fiend and a Warrior. So of all the evil heroes, it is a bit awkward to summon. It's okay because it reduces stats, which then makes it so that if Shining Neos or Wake Up run over one of my opponent's monsters, then I kind of just auto-win from there, but it's very rare that I end up summoning it. And then to round up the heroes, one Dark Claw. Macro is macro. And then the 2 Super Poly targets in Garura or Mud Dragon. These are just enough. I could have played Ab-Zero, but there isn't really anything that requires me to have an Ab-Zero against my opponent. Also, all the other Omni heroes require elemental heroes to summon them, and I don't have those usually on the end board, so the others are kind of a bit meh. But yeah, that is the hero list in a nutshell. I think the deck's good at what it does. It achieves everything it needs to. It's still tier 2. Konami, please give me that hero that negates nibs so that I can actually play through boards. But beyond that, it is actually an enjoyable deck, and I do recommend more people playing it. The version that I've built is just pure board breakers and pure gas. There isn't really reasons to play hand traps in it because heroes can play through 2 or 3 negates. As long as it's not a draw, they can just play into it and it's fine. And drawing Super Poly or Dark Ruler does a lot more than drawing a hand trap. Maybe, just maybe, I might play Fua and Perulia in it because drawing cards is good, especially when you go second in this. But beyond that, I think the list is solid at what it is. Anywho, I'd like like to know you guys' opinions on the deck. I would like to know any feedback that you guys want to give. If my hero list sucks, just let me know that it sucks and I need to go back to the drawing board. But beyond that, I think that it's fine. It's perfectly fine, and the deck will be okay. I'll be signing out now. Peace.